For creating playing cards, you're going to actually be doing exactly that. You're going to be creating a set of playing cards. Now, I'm not going to require you to create all of the playing cards, but we are going to focus on the king, the queen, the jack, the ace, and the back of the card, okay? We will be creating these in Illustrator. So I'm going to kind of walk you through a basic kind of setup, and I'm going to show you an example that I have created. And then I really want you to take the idea from there, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go into Illustrator and you're going to go under New File. And you're going to create a custom size, which is 2.5 by 3.5. Okay. And it's up to you which angle you want to do the cards at. For me, it was easier to keep them in portrait mode, but if you want to do yours from side to side, that is completely okay as well. Now, like I said, you're doing the king, the queen, the jack, the ace, and the back of the card. So you're going to need 5 of them. So we're going to do 5 artboards. So right here, 5. And you're going to hit create. Now it's going to lay them out, but in case you don't get the layout that you want, I wanted to show you how to do this. So we're going to select each of the cards. So on the first card, you're going to, well, first you're going to grab your artboard tool. It's right here. It looks like a little square with a little tail. Okay. You're going to click on one of the first artboard. It should say 00-artboard 1. And we're going to change this one to say king right over here in your properties panel. So I typed in king and hit tab. Sometimes if you don't hit the tab and you just hit enter or you go to the next card, it won't save it. So tab is just kind of one of those little safety things. Then I'm going to hit click on artboard 2. I'm going to change this one to queen. Tab again. Artboard 3, I'm going to do as my back. BACK. Tab. Artboard 4, I'm going to do as my jack. Tab. And then artboard 5, I'm going to do as my ace. And tab. Okay. So what's nice about this is you can, if you have your artboard tool selected, you can come up here to the top. It says rearrange all, and you can click on that. And you can tell it like how many columns you want. Well, first of all, it has layout. So you can do like left, right, or you can do top, bottom. You can just do them all in one long row, or you can do them all in one long column. You can adjust your layout order. We're going to do 3 columns so that we have 1, 2, 3. So yours will look kind of like mine. Spacing's not super important. You can just do whatever the default is. I usually always try to say at least at 0.25. And then I want to click move artwork with artboard, because then if you pick it up later on and try to shift it anywhere, it'll move the artwork with it. And then I'm going to hit OK. And you'll see it has me in the nice order. Okay. So whenever you do this, it allows you, when you do this drop down, you'll see which of your cards are down here. Now, what I want you to do is come up with a theme. And I want to open, I got a couple student examples, and I'm going to show you one of my own. Okay, so these are a couple examples that students did. One did a car brand. So what you're going to be doing is, instead of each of the suits, you're going to come up with a part of that theme. So for them, they did car brands, and instead of diamonds, they did Lamborghinis. And instead of hearts, they did Bentley. And so on their playing cards, maybe they would have, you know, for the 3 card, for the 3 of Bentleys, they would have 3 little Bentley cars on the card. Okay. Or they'll have 3 of the little logos, or whatever they wanted to do. You don't have to think that far out, but I just want you to kind of understand how these break up. So instead of clubs, they did Ferrari. And then instead of spades, they did this brand. I'm not even going to try and say it, but it's this one right here. I actually had to look it up because I didn't even know what it was. Okay. And then another one is fast food. So they did Burger King instead of diamonds, and they did a Burger King logo. Dairy Queen logo instead of the hearts. So they have the little Dairy Queen up here. So for like the 2 of Dairy Queen, they would have a 2 and the little DQ. Okay. I really wish that they would have done that on these, but they didn't. So we got the idea though. Okay, you got Jack in the Box, of course, for clubs. And then for the spades, they actually did Ace Cafe, which has a club on it. So you think that they would have done it for clubs, but they didn't. So you kind of get the idea. And then they have the back of their card. Okay. You are going to be doing all of this in Illustrator, which means you can't have any rasterized images. So no JPEGs, no PNGs, no PSD files. You need to have SVGs, EPSs, or you have to create your own images. 100% great idea to create your own. But if you want to use some pre-made images, some pre-made vectors, a great site to do that on would be Vectease. And you can go in here. And so for my set that I made for your sample today, what I typed in was seasons. So I did winter, fall, spring, and summer as my 4 suits. So I typed in seasons. I make sure it says vector right here. And I search it. And it's not liking me this morning. So seasons, search. Okay, now something to remember about this website, all this stuff at the top right here that this is all Shutterstock. These you would have to pay for, so skip past those. You can use anything down below it. Now, some of these do require you to join, so I suggest you come over here to license type and do free license. And then all of these are going to be free use, so they're stock. And then you can use anything in here, and these will break down into those SVGs or EPSs that I'm talking about that you can actually use them. So for one of mine is I'm using this one right here. All I wanted to do was pull the little people out. And again, I'll show you in just a second what I did. But I wanted to pull the little people out for the different seasons, for the cards, for their face cards. And you simply go under free download. Now, I know sometimes with this, you can only download so many of them, and then it's going to tell you that you need to create an account. It's a free account. Just go up to sign in or create account. I don't know what it is. I'm already signed into it. And then just use your school email address. They don't send you a lot of emails. I mean, I don't think I get any from them. If I do, they go straight into my junk. So create an account, and then you can download as many as you want that are free. Okay. And you just right here, you do free download. And whenever it downloads it, it's going to create a file that looks like this. It says Vectease. It will be a zipped file, so you'll have to go in and unlock it or extract it before you're able to use it. And then once you go in, you'll see that there are 3 different types of files usually. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less, but usually there's 3. You have an encapsulated, you have a JPEG, and you have an Adobe Acrobat or Adobe PDF. You're going to be using the encapsulated. It'll be either an SVG or an EPS, and you're going to be using one of those. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you my actual example. I went ahead and made it in advance just so I could do this and kind of show it to you. So here is my king of winter, my queen of spring, my jack of summer, and my ace of autumn. Okay, and then the back of the card. What I want you to do is I want you to play around with the isolation mode. So if you notice, let's see, I'll go back and open those up. Nope, that was not the right one. Nope, I think it's the next one down. Children in the Four Seasons. There we go. Yep. Okay, so you'll see like, let's say for winter, they did a very Christmassy thing and I wanted it to feel more winterish. So I copied, and this is all grouped, and you'll just have to ungroup it over here, or you can right click and go to ungroup right there, or you can release the mask and then ungroup it. Okay, so I'll ungroup this. I got to release the mask first. Okay, this is one of them, and I just selected them both by holding down the shift key, Control C, and then I opened up my cards and Control V. And then afterwards, I moved them around the way I wanted them. Then you can use your selection tool, and you can select it. And if you double click on it, it's going to put you into isolation mode. So see this nice white bar across the top. I'm sorry, gray bar across the top. That just means you're in isolation mode. And you can do this by accident. People do it by accident all the time. So just kind of make sure that you're watching out for that. If you ever do, you just come back over here and arrow out of it. But what that means is that this is a group and we want to work in special parts of it. So instead of ungrouping it and then having to regroup it back again, you can just go in and work in isolation mode, and you just double click the area you want to work on. So now you see it's like down to her hat. And then if I keep going down, now I'm in parts of her hat. And now I'm in just part of her hat again. And there's the light blue. So if I wanted to, I could change this, and I'm just going to change it using a fill right now so you can see what I'm doing. So let's say I wanted her hat to be pink. And then if I go back through the isolation mode, you'll see that it changed that section of it. Okay. Now know that sometimes it'll be a whole section. Sometimes this part might be a shadow that they laid over it. And so just by changing this part, it will change this part as well. You're just going to have to play with it. But I do want you to go into isolation mode, and I want you to change some of these colors and see what happens, just so that you know how it works. Also, so that you can tie it a little bit better to your theme. So if you notice on mine, I will zoom out. I took the blue of the snowflake and then I made it darker for my K. And then I, made them all in blues. And then for greens, for the queen of spring. And then I did a yellow for summer. And so here's the two colors. And then I did kind of the dark red, burnt orange kind of color for autumn. Okay. So then I took the same concept and I came over here to the back of my card. And what I did for the back of my card was I found this little vector that had these 4 images on it. They were just on a white background, but I took a cork board and put behind it. I also found on Vectease. And then the other thing that I did was I actually wrote the name of the seasons on here. And then I put them in layers behind. So they're in a group. Here's my group. I put them behind the tape. So if you were to turn off the tape right here, see, I kind of put it behind it so it looked like it was actually written on the picture. So I just adjusted my sub layers. Okay. So what I want you to do is have some fun with this, play with it, come up with a great idea, pick your theme based on something that interests you. If you have questions about your theme and want to make sure it's okay or get some ideas, bounce some ideas off, shoot me an email, let me know, and we can discuss it. Otherwise, have fun, make yourself some playing cards, and I look forward to seeing them.